Good morning. This review is for my Integrated 1 class, but before I get started, I want to say I hope that everyone's doing all right out there. I'm not sure how I'm going to title this. I'll tell it how I title it in the title. But what I am sure of is we're doing a Chapter 6 test review. And what I want to do is I want to go over all, let's see, there's 1, 2, and then 6 more. I want to go over all 8 problems. I want to demonstrate how to do the problems, and I want to encourage you how simple this test will be, and I really hope that you take advantage and get ready to do well in this test. Now there's also 2 other videos that are going to go over 2 other types of questions. I'm going to share the links with you in an email that I'm going to send out, which you should have received. That's why you're watching this. Anyways, let's just go ahead and jump into the review. And again, I hope that you realize how simple this test will be and how much closer we can get to a passing grade. So, without further ado, let's do the review. So, the answer to problem 1, which is asking for the 3 rotation rules and for you to label them, are these. The first rotation is a 90-degree or negative 270-degree rotation. And what we do is we take our XY coordinate, we switch the order, and change the sign of that value. Our second rotation rule is 180 degrees or negative 180 degrees. And what we do is we take our coordinates, we keep the order the same, but we change the signs of the numbers. Our third rotation rule is 270 degrees or negative 90 degrees. And we take our coordinates, switch the order, and change the sign of the second number. Okay? Change the sign, that's what the negative means. The answers for number 2, we have 4 reflection rules. Our first reflection rule is over the x-axis. So what we do is we take our coordinate, we keep the order the same, and change the sign of the y value. The second reflection rule over the y-axis is we take our coordinates, keep the order the same, change the sign of the x value. Our third reflection rule is over the diagonal line y equals x. We take our coordinates and we switch the order. Our last reflection rule is over the other diagonal line, y equals negative x, where we take our ordered pair, switch the order, and change the signs of both numbers. That is the answer for problem 1. Rotation rules, and this is about the origin, and reflection rules. Please have this written down in front of you when you take this test, because you can use this when you take the test. This test is really a very simple test. If you spend a little time practicing, this will really help grades. I cannot stress that enough. All right, so let's jump into problem 3 and problem 4. The directions are to find the coordinates of the figure after the transformation. You don't need to graph it. You just need to tell me where the coordinates go. That's it. Okay? So you're going to be asked to do a problem with a graph, and you're going to be asked to do a problem with coordinates. When I give you a graph, you have to figure out the coordinates. Figure out the coordinates. So first, figure out the coordinates. And then after you figure out the coordinates, you're going to use the rule. And this is the rule. Okay, that is the rule. These are rules. All right? And the third thing is make sure you add a prime mark. If you do this, you should ace this part of the test. I'm telling you, these are like 3 points. You just have to do what I'm asking you to do. Okay, so we're going to translate, which means we're going to take these coordinates. I'm going to add 4 to my x value, and I'm going to take away 2 from my y value. So the first thing I need to do is I need to figure out the coordinates. Okay, well, the coordinates for this guy is negative 1, positive 2. The coordinates for this guy, negative 1, positive 4. And the coordinates for this guy, -3, +2. So I did the first part, figure out the coordinates. Now I'm going to use the rule. Add 4 to the x's, take away 2 to the y's. Okay? And when we do this, make sure we add a prime mark. So now I go from x to x prime. If I owe $1 and now I find $4, that means I have $3. If I have 2, I owe 2, that means I have none. I owe $1, I find 4, that means that, well, don't forget to add the prime mark, that I have 3. And to go from 4 and lose 2 means that you have 2 left. You owe 3, you find 4, that means that you have 1. You have 2, you lose 2, that means you have none. That is the answer to problem 3. That's it. That's all I want. Problem 4. I don't have to figure out the coordinates because I tell you the coordinates. So that means I just need to use the rule and add the prime mark. That's it. Okay? Again, please take advantage of this opportunity. This will help grades so much in this semester, this tough, difficult semester. We have the easiest test we'll have all year. You just have to put some time in. Make sure you know how to do this and ace this thing. Ace it. All right. I don't need to do this because I already know them. So for these problems, I'm going to take 2 away from my x values, and I'm going to add 3 to my y values. Okay, and don't forget to add the prime marks. D goes to D prime. If I owe 2 and I owe 2 more, that means that I owe you 4. If I owe 5 and I pay off 3, that means I owe 2. C goes to C prime. If I have 3, I owe 2. That means I still have 1. If I owe 3, I have 3. That means I broke even and I have nothing. The last guy, B goes to B prime. If I have 2, I owe 2. That means I break even and I have nothing. I owe 5, I have 3. That means that I owe 2. This is how you answer the first 2 problems on the test. That's it. Let me clean this up. Write problem 5 and problem 6, and I'm going to start to use these rules. This is still the same. So let me clean this up and I'll be back. I'm back. So let's go ahead and do problem 5 and problem 6. Problem 5 is asking you to rotate 90 degrees clockwise. And problem 6 is asking you to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. Now I added something. Counterclockwise is positive, and clockwise is negative. As I knock over this ruler, which I will eventually trip over. There we go, let me put you out of the way. And again, just like before, I just want the coordinates, that's it. We can't graph because we don't have graph paper. Okay, or I can't guarantee they have graph paper. So just like before, we figure out the coordinates, you use the rule, and we add the prime mark. That's it. That's it. So let's start off with figuring out the coordinates for problem 5. Q. Well, it's 1, 2, -3, and a height of 0. So Q is -3, 0. Oh, point P is supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 1, 2, 3. So P is -4, 3. And R is 1, -1. Alright. Now I need to use the rule. But remember, clockwise is negative. -90 is this guy. So our rule is xy becomes y -x. Take the order, switch it, change the sign of that number. That's it. Okay? Use the rule. And make sure that we add the prime mark. So Q goes to Q prime. I have to switch the order. So the order switches, okay? And after I switch the order, I change the sign. So it goes from -3 to +3. There you go. P goes from P to P prime. Remember, I switch the order. And I change the sign of this number. So it goes from -4 to +4. You don't have to put the positive sign. It can be no sign, or you can put a positive. I don't care. Just show me that these signs are different. And R goes to R prime. I can read it. All right, come on. You can just. We switch the order. And we change the sign of that number. So this was positive, and now I put a minus there, and now it's negative. That's problem number 5. Again, I think this is a very simple, straightforward test. We have all the rules for rotations and reflections in front of us. Write this down as well, please. Write this down too. Just ace this test, please. All right, let's do 90 degrees counterclockwise. Oh, that's positive. Positive 90 means that I'm using this guy. Okay, so that means my rule is xy becomes -yx. All right, so what happens is I change the order, and then I change the sign of the first number. So again, I'm going to use a rule. I'm going to add the prime mark. M goes to M prime. I'm going to switch the order, so that becomes 0, -3, and then I have to make that one negative. Well, 0 doesn't have a sign, but we can still put a minus in front of it if you're not sure. Right? L goes to L prime. Again, this is telling me take my numbers, switch the order, and then it's telling me to change the sign of the first number. There we go. And K goes to K prime. And again, I take my numbers, switch the order, and I add a negative to the front, or change the sign of the number in the front. Again, you can put something in front of the 0 or not, if you want. All right, so that's how we do 5 and 6 on the practice test. Let me erase this, set up 7 and 8, and that concludes our test. Again, like I said, I'm hoping that you guys take full advantage of this. This is a really great opportunity to bring these grades up. It's been a long, tough year, and look at what we're ending with a test that can really make a difference. And then I hope that you see how much your grade goes up from this test, and then we decide to make up our missing homework and notes. So let me clean this up, and I'll be back. I'm back for the last time, I promise. Let's do problems 7 and 8. Again, the ideas are the same. Figure out the coordinates, use a rule, add a prime mark, ace this test, bring up our grades, and pass integrated 1 and move on to integrated 2. All right, here we go. We got one amazing chance before us. Okay, let's do problem 7. Reflect across y equals x. Figure out the coordinates. Well, this one I come over 3 and I go down 2. So this is 3 comma -2. This one I come over 1 and I go down 3. So this is 1 comma -3. And this one I come over 4 down 5. All right. So these are the coordinates, and I'm going to reflect across y equals x. So z, which is 1 -3. Y, which is 3 -2, and x, which is 4 -5. All right, I have my coordinates. Use the rule. Reflecting over y equals x. xy turns into yx. We just switch the order. That's it. That's all we got to do. That's it. All right, so make sure you have the prime mark. So xy flips to yx. Z goes to z prime, and I just switch the order. -3, comma 1. Y goes to y prime, and I just switch the order. -2, 3. That's what my rule's telling me, switch the order. And x goes to x prime, and again, I switch the order, -5, 4. Number 7, well done. Right, so hopefully you're thinking, all right, I'm going to ace this thing, and I hope that's how you're feeling. Problem number 8, reflect across the y-axis. I don't need to figure out the coordinates because I told you the coordinates, but I need to use a rule for reflecting across the y-axis. xy becomes -xy. So I'm telling you, change the sign of the first number. That's it. Change the sign of the first number. xy goes to -xy. That's it. That's all. Right? So w goes to w prime, and that's -3, 3. Just change the sign of the first number. X goes to x prime, and that becomes -4, 3. Change the sign of the first number. And finally, y goes to y prime, and we change the sign of the first number. That's it. That's all. That is the transformation portion of the test. And again, I will be sharing links to the segment addition postulate problem and the angle addition postulate problems. That's all. There's going to be a total of 8 questions. This is an excellent opportunity to bring your grade up. Excellent. I can't stress enough. Excellent. I really hope that you take advantage of this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Again, I hope everyone is doing all right out there. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.